Welcome to the Encore. We are somewhere where you guys know where we're at. The best scenery we've ever had in an Encore.
This is the best Encore set we've ever had.
Yeah, we've been at some cool places, I think. I can't remember them all, but this is pretty cool to be out here.
So while we're here, here's what I have for you. Before we talk about why we're here and what we're doing, we were just a minute ago talking about Michigan legends. Michigan legends. There are so many Michigan legends. So behind me is a source of many Michigan legends. So I'm going to give you a little legend quiz. You are a Michigan lover. I love Michigan. There's no one that I know that loves it as much as you. Your office is a Michigan theme, and you have the bridge on the wall, right?
I do, yeah, I do.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's in my office right here.
You should see Scott's office. It is a Michigan shrine.
Yeah.
So behind us is the Mackinaw Bridge. I'm going to quiz you on the Mackinaw Bridge. You ready for this?
Go.
Well, I kind of gave it away earlier because we were talking about.
Oh, I'm not like a historian, so I'm not.
No, stop. What year was the bridge constructed?
56.
So now this is tough. I think it was completed in 59, so you might be right. I didn't look up these answers. I'm just coming in. I'm coming in blind.
Okay.
I think it was 59 it was done, so I'm not saying you're wrong.
Okay. Completed in 59.
How long is the Mackinaw Bridge?
5 miles.
5 miles.
Yeah.
At the time, what was it?
At the time, what was it?
At the time it was built, it had a record. What was the record?
The largest suspension bridge in the world?
It was the largest suspension bridge on the earth.
Yeah.
So I looked it up the other day. A suspension bridge is classified by the distance between the two towers.
Okay.
So I always thought, for years, I've thought the Mackinac Bridge has been soundly defeated by many bridges, which it has by that definition. But the bridge of this type, in total distance, it is still the longest bridge of its type in the Western Hemisphere.
In the Western Hemisphere?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's only a couple. There's only like 3 or 4 that are longer anywhere in the world.
No, I cannot name those.
I can't either.
Okay.
All right, so getting to legends.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard a legend about men working on the bridge?
Yeah, that they were buried in the concrete.
Buried in the cement. Buried in the cement.
Yeah.
That is 100% false.
It is. You've confirmed that it's false?
Some tryhard out there is going to probably prove me wrong some way. The only thing I can find is where there were guys that fell down and died during the construction of the bridge. But I have no credible record of anyone falling in to the active pouring of the concrete and are presently buried as a...
You've done a little bit of homework on it?
I have.
Okay.
I have not found any confirmed story that there was anyone buried in the cement in the Mackinaw Bridge. How many people have blown off in their vehicle the Mackinaw Bridge?
I think it's one.
I think it's, well, so first of all, it's a messed up story. I think there are 2 cars that have gone off the bridge. There may be more, but they're all fault of the driver. Like drunk driving reckless, super fast in high wind conditions. But the one we all know is the Yugo story. And it actually turns out, I believe, she hit the median, that spooky little cement thing in the middle. You know what I'm talking about? There's that little thing in the middle. If you bump it, it jerks you. So I think she was going too fast in high wind conditions, hit the median, and I think kind of drove herself off. I don't think...
But the wind actually
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true.
Okay.
There's nothing I can really get that's true. When I was a kid, I thought she was driving normally and the wind lifted her car off the bridge and sent her to the water. I don't think that happened.
Is there any part of you that gets the slightest bit nervous when you drive on the bridge?
Every time.
There's a weird feeling, isn't it?
Every time. And I stare at that green rail that's about 6 feet too short.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why can't they make that rail taller? And so you get in the outside lane because you want to look over, but then you're looking at that rail, and if you're driving, I just white knuckle. Like, oh my word, look at that, there's a boat. I'm like, that's neat. And I just want to get over the bridge.
That's awesome.
Yeah, lots of fun. So let's go.
Yeah, why are we here? It's what we want to talk about today. We didn't come up here for a vacation just to have the bridge in the background. We are on a little bit of what we're calling the Michigan Shoreline Tour, the Night of Hope. So I want to talk about the purpose behind that. There's some questions that go with that for sure. First and foremost, where did this whole idea come from?
Well, it's a high road answer, but I think it came from the Lord. I mean, we had planned to do something just like this in Cuba.
Okay.
Right at the start of the COVID, we were going to leave. In fact,
almost up to the
right up to
like 2 days out from leaving.
Yeah, right at the dead start, and we were going. Then we weren't going. We were going. Cuba was saying, come. So what we were going to do is it was a bunch of cities. We were going to go and preach our way across Cuba
Yeah,
and we had everything lined up, partner churches, partner ministries. It was really great, and I really hope it still happens. So we were pumped about the Cuba 10-9, where we were going to go to multiple towns and preach the gospel and be a shot in the arm for those ministries.
Yep.
Didn't happen. So I think some of that, and I was thinking like, man, how can we, and as this ground on for months, I'm like, man, we did the Fox 66 thing. That was cool.
Yeah.
I was just kind of praying about, I don't want to just sit through, when this is over, one of my greatest fears is that I didn't see the opportunity of what to do with the gospel. So I was praying like, well, what do you do? I don't want to, violate a bunch of laws. I don't want to be stupid, and like, what do you do?
Yeah.
And it just got in my head. I was like, what if we ran up the entire shoreline, starting on the west side and ended on the east side, and just went to city parks and abided by the rules and preached the gospel? So Neil Thompson and Angela Begard and people on our team did a bunch of work to see if that was even possible. Yeah. And man, the local municipalities were really favorable. There were people that came to tears over it on city councils that were like, please come. Please, this is what needs to happen.
All right, so we got to get this one out of the way because people wonder and ask. You talked about wanting to follow the rules and making sure that
of course.
In this weird world that we're not breaking regulations or anything like that, or even killing our testimony.
Of course.
And looking bad. So explain from your side our goal with this, our reason behind why we were able to do this, and also what it looks like too. I'll add something at the end.
Yeah, I mean, our goal is to preach the hope of the gospel. This is not a church service. This is not a worship gathering. This is not the Sunday service for the body of Christ. There's a bunch of the body of Christ being a part of this in the Rock Church as well as other ministries. I met a pastor guy, a worship pastor in Traverse City, that are helping make it happen. Yeah. It's not a church service. This is solely a gospel outreach to lost people, to give them hope when I don't believe they have it any other place. And all our other sources of artificial hope are falling down. And I think it's a great time to tell them the truth. And so that is the goal, is to preach the truth when people might be receptive to it during this time. I don't know what else you said, but.
Well, I wanted to talk about the COVID side. We had mentioned, people will ask the question, how can you do this tour and not have a large weekend gathering back home in Fenton? So, and I would say I think our answers were legit and good, but until I even saw it here in person when I came up, it makes so much more sense. If you followed it at all on Facebook or whatever, there might have been over 100 people in Traverse City the other night, but it is in this large area that is so spaced out.
It's so big,
and it's not like everybody's coming to an amphitheater or a place with seating, and so you're just in an open area where almost these people are going to be there regardless of us teaching or preaching in the mix. And so it is very much spaced out, but it has been really cool to see that.
Well, and we put signs up, too many signs, and we do it on purpose.
Signs,
so we appear to really want to abide by safety regulations, recommendations, governor orders, these kind of things. And we've sought permission from local government to do it. If they said no, we wouldn't have done it. Yeah. If they say stop while we're doing it, we would. But man, there's so much space, in fact, that the other night, as you saw, there were people that pulled up in boats and stayed in their boats on the water and yelled while I was preaching, turn it up so we can hear it. I turned one speaker around from the stage and they sat in their boats. I mean, the social distance was so easy to accomplish. And the other thing is, it's only, other than Traverse City, which was 2 nights, it's a one-time deal, and we move on. Where the weekend there would be an enormously large amount of people. It'd be every weekend. We're starting to run into a season in weather in Michigan where that's not going to work outside. And the other thing is that some of the counties up here are under different regulations than we are in Genesee County. There's a little bit of a looser regulation limitation up here than there is down there. So we're trying our best. And we have abided by it as best we can, and we have not gotten any complaints from anybody, and we've really tried to respect that, and lost people are coming.
How would you say, from your vantage point, it's going so far, and what do you base that from?
Dude, listen, it is beyond my expectation. And I think people think, in past years, whether it's church or something else, outreach-wise, we've seen I would say mega crowds. I mean, just things I never imagined in my wildest dreams. I mean, multiple thousands of people sometimes in a single day. That's not what I had in my mind from the start.
Right.
I was prepared. I keep saying I was ready for 4 people to be there that weren't a part of our team. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
Because if you're not prepared for that before it happens, it's going to shock you.
Right.
It's going to take the wind out of your sails, and you're going to be able to. It's going to discourage everybody.
Right.
And I talked to the team. I'm like, listen, nobody may be there, and we got to understand why, and that's a possibility. 10 people are there. That's a win.
Yeah.
And I still believe that going into the remaining events as we film this.
Sure.
There could be 10 people. That's fine.
Right.
It has wildly exceeded that. It has been real people from the town, and we have heard firsthand testimony, and you could just feel the Lord move in powerful ways at times that are just hard to explain. Just incredible moments where we're like, wow, couldn't have planned on that.
Yeah.
And I'm thrilled about it. Yeah. It's exactly what I hoped it would be, but it's even more. I mean, the weather's been favorable. It's been just great.
Okay. How do people get involved in this? Maybe they're interested about it. Maybe you're learning of it a little bit late or whatever, following on Facebook. They see some excitement. How can people get involved in this?
Yeah, I mean, just pay attention. We're trying to put the details out. We put some 10-9 posts out there. I think we, maybe you're planning to talk about what 10-9 kind of is, what it means, and like it's kind of confusing. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't paid close attention, people could be confused, because we don't want to dominate the Rock Church communication with things that are happening in 10-9, because there are many other ministries, discipleship efforts, preaching of the word that are happening throughout the Rock Church that are equally as important as a 10-9 outreach. So we don't want to just take over the communication waves. So you got to be connected kind of directly to the 10-9 line of communication, whether that's Facebook or Twitter, things like that, to know what's going on. But they could go to Romans 10:9. Okay. It's all words except the 9. Romans 10, spell it, and then 9.com. Mm-hmm. And they could find information about what it is, the mission behind it, what we've done in the past, and what everything we plan to do. Yeah. And they could contact us through that website and get involved.
Okay. So let's talk about the stops so far. We are in Mackinaw City for one night tonight.
Yeah.
What's the rest of the tour look like for those that might have a chance to still come out?
Yeah. So right now it's, what is it, the 20-something?
It's hard to know what day or date it is.
24th?
Yeah, 8/24.
8/24. And we're going to preach in Mackinaw City here tonight. I'm pumped. Conkling Heritage Park, it is right smack.
Oh, it's
smack downtown. If you
is.
walk to certain points in the park, you can look at the Mackinaw Bridge. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's right down the road from here. Then we're going to Alpena on the 26th, and then Bay City on the 28th. There's time. If they want to come, you don't need to tell us you're coming. Just drive up to Alpena prior to the 26th. You can get in contact with us through Romans109.com. You can get in contact with us through Facebook, 10-9 Ministries on Facebook. And we'd even respond through the Rock Church communication, but just come. Okay. Whether you're part of the Rock or Fenton area or watching this somewhere else, just come and show up, reach out to us, and we'll explain what you're doing. We'll give you some invite cards. We'll explain where to be and when, and it's great, man, and you can see something awesome. Come to Alpena, come to Bay City, bring people with you, and man, we'd love it. People are doing that. There's a growing, growing group that is followed, that's coming. It's really cool.
And we don't always know who's coming, so we have our volunteer meeting, and we're like, hey, sweet, you're here. That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's cool to see that. In the future, will we ever see events like this? Is this a one-time thing? What do you think about this 10-9 idea, and what would that look like going forward?
I hope it exists in an evangelistic form as long as I'm a preacher. I mean, longer. What would it look like? I mean, just where the doors open, where God gives vision, where people, rally around it, where He provides the resources. We would go anywhere on planet Earth that the door is open, partner with any ministries that want to, and preach the simple gospel and call people to repent of sin and believe in Jesus and walk as a disciple that bears fruit in keeping with repentance. Yeah. And we hope that's an opportunity to bring a harvest, the Lord to bring a harvest of lost people, but also to be an encouragement to local ministries and be an asset to them. to make disciples. So yeah, I hope we go to the Cuba thing. I hope that happens. No date right now. It's not possible at this moment, but man, the minute it is, I'd want to do that. I'd want to do it anywhere in America, Michigan.
Okay.
Man.
What's your favorite stop?
Oh man.
So I guess this would include the future dates too. I don't know how to evaluate that.
How do you interpret
and what's
that?
that based off of? I don't know, but we like to rank things around here. So
rank everything, dude. Well, here's the thing. I've been to every stop before in my life except Silver Lake Sand Dunes where we started.
Okay.
I had never seen that before except when we filmed the promo video a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
I've never been there in my life, and I'm going to tell you, my mind was blown. I don't know how I haven't heard more about it in my life. And we went out on the dunes during some time before the event started, and it was like Lawrence of Arabia out there, and I could not believe it.
Yeah.
I liked it better than Sleeping Bear Dunes.
Okay.
It seemed bigger, it seemed more deserty and wide open and massive, and you were more free, there were less limitations. I love Sleeping Bear Dunes, the view is second to none.
Yeah, the view is incredible.
It's incredible,
yeah.
but it's not what Silver Lake is,
right.
man. And the sand is even a little different. It was white, sugar sand, and it melted my mind. So I don't think there'll be a place that'll impress me on the same level because I've already been impressed. I love the Mackinac Bridge. It's a mind melt.
Right.
Traverse City's its own kind of awesome.
Right.
But I grew up going to Traverse City almost every summer when I was a kid, so I know all that.
Yeah.
Silver Lake shocked me. So I don't have to say like I like one better than another, but that surprised me more than any other. Okay. I loved it.
All right. So people are probably looking at you going, something's a little bit different right now, and I got to call you out on something. I think we talked about it on the Encore at some point. Would you say a man should never wear shorts?
I know.
And
no one's probably going to come tonight. And if they do, they won't listen, because who would take someone seriously wearing shorts?
And all of a sudden, Traverse City night 2, I think it was, you come out and I'm like, the dude is wearing shorts, and I was like, you've done sold out.
Well, it's a very liberal town, Scott, and it corrupted me.
All things to all men? Is this what you're
it's
going for?
All things to all men. I wanted to appear a liberal.
I can't believe you're
No, dude, it's too hot. I couldn't hold on to my statement any longer. My pride even got sweated out. I thought, I can't do it. It was so hot that it would almost be a distraction the other way. Like someone sitting there would be like,
this g's dealing with
why
is
this idiot wearing jeans
I
right now? And it's 90.
Yeah.
It's so hot. The jeans, I was so hot. And I was against wearing shorts. I didn't even have any. So I had to go all over Traverse.
You literally didn't even
I had to
any,
go buy these shorts. So you're gonna see a lot more where this came from.
Oh my God.
I do have some swim trunks that I brought, but I'm not gonna preach in swim trunks. I'll tell you that right now.
Is it a swimsuit or swim trunks? Why is it swim trunks?
Why isn't it shorts? Why is it a bathing suit? I'm bathing.
You're getting wet.
It's a suit. I don't know what to call it. I call it a swimsuit.
You just said swim trunks.
I know, because I felt like more people would say that.
Oh, really? Okay. Swim trunks.
Swim trunks seem to specify a man's bathing suit. A swimsuit could be for a man or a woman, right?
Fair
you're
point.
wearing a swimsuit.
Never
you could be
thought
talking to
about
anybody.
that.
So swim trunks, you're obviously talking to a guy's shorts.
Yeah.
But anyway, dude, I got too hot and it almost would have looked ridiculous, and I've liked wearing them.
That's
so
hilarious.
I'm hot right now. I don't know what time. It's 11:46 in Mackinaw City, which I'm telling you, people would say, people don't realize it is late. It's late August.
Yeah.
It could be 60 degrees and
for the
raining.
hoodies. Yeah,
it could be. Yeah. This gets cold and windy quick up here, and this is enchanted weather.
It's awesome. All right, I got to say one thing, and then I'm going to let you finish if we missed anything that you want to talk about at the end. But I just wanted to bring this up. You talked about my love for Michigan early.
Yeah.
I have a little high road answer to this.
Okay.
What? You can go ahead. What are you going to say?
No, you love going high road. Like you love having a. You're going to say
high road?
We'll go ahead. What? This is your Jerusalem or something? Or?
Well, no, sort of. I guess you could say that. I grew up in Michigan, whatever, born and raised here. Mm-hmm. There was a good season where I don't like winter. Right?
Yeah, I hate it.
I don't like winter at all. I hate it. So there was a good season where I wanted out pretty bad, even so much so I was putting out applications in different states and different countries, almost anywhere other than Michigan. I was just ready to be in a warmer climate.
Yeah.
And like when God called me to the Rock, I felt like that was confirmation to be at the Rock. But then honestly, in a weird way, like I completely fell in love with Michigan all over again. So it's almost like a newfound love for Michigan.
Okay.
Hence the redecoration of my office.
Your office
and all
is
of it.
Committed.
Dude, I committed to it.
It's a commitment.
But I used to be like sports guy, so it would have had like tigers and lions and Wolverine stuff, and I'm like, I'm just going with the state.
Yeah, I like this vibe a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
I'm an old man now.
Yeah, well, it's a more mature vibe.
All right. Is there anything you wanted to mention about the Shoreline tour, about 10-9, that I didn't ask that we want to make sure people know about?
Well, I wish that if they aren't able to make it, which I totally understand, and man, are you welcome to come. Mm-hmm. It's not a closed group. It's not. We don't want to appear like a clique or.
Right.
I mean, come if you want to come. You are invited, man, and we would love to have you join the train. And just, man, there's not enough. There's not a limited amount of opportunity to go out and share the gospel or invite people to where the gospel will be preached. So come on. But if they can't, if they would pray, if there's one single thing I would ask them to do is just pray for continued favor on the weather, sinners' hearts in the preaching of the gospel, the worship. Lindsay and the team are incredible.
They've been great.
The technology has been great. It has worked. Pray, just pray. Pray as the Lord leads you for what we're doing, and you are equally a part of it from wherever you are. The other thing about 10-9 is the reason we do it and we don't call it the Rock. Like sometimes people are like, why don't you just call it the Rock? Because we want it to be an opportunity for other churches to partner without a church label on it. We don't want a church name to be at the front of it. So what 10-9 is almost like a melting pot of ministries from anywhere, including Cuba or Africa or anywhere.
Right.
But you have to have, for the sake of just uniformity, for the sake of some of the financial things, you have to have a name. Like you have to have a label at times to bring everything together, to bring everyone together, to advertise that the event is happening. We're doing, man, it's been crazy. We've done TV, multiple television and radio interviews for this that are just, including today, somebody reached out to us. So they had, who are you with? Who are you with?
Right. Right.
Dude, I love the Rock. I don't want people to freak out. Like it's not about like anything that any animosity or anything. I'm trying to hide that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say the Rock from Mackinaw City because who is the Rock in Mackinaw City?
They don't know what that means.
I want it to be. I want other ministries that want to have a part of it. I want to be a resource for them and them be at the forefront, and us simply be a resource to bolster their ministry. So 10-9 can do that anywhere because it's not a church. Yeah. It is just an evangelistic ministry that points to an evangelistic verse, Romans 10:9, that if you confess and believe in Jesus, you will be saved. And so, and it states, the name states the vision of what we're doing. So if churches want to be a part of that or want us to help host something, we can put our giftings with theirs and keep any church loyalty out of it. So that's why we do that.
That's good. And we do, we have things, resource things, I don't know when this was created, but well before the television stuff happened, where people can text and get resources.
Yes.
We send people Bibles, a way to be able to connect where we leave this town and somebody's like, now what's next?
Yeah, so we would put them with a local church. I don't want them to have to call the Rock Church. Well, is this church the Rock Church? Like it just gets confusing. And so I understand people wonder like why the thing, but that's why, because we want to be able to do it anywhere and do it the same way and say the same words and put the same name and not be confusing.
Yeah. Do you think in this whole time we were talking, do you think any cars blew off that bridge?
I mean, probably. If they didn't get buried in concrete, came off the bridge.
Came off the bridge. Awesome. Well, I know we didn't get straight into a specific sermon tonight, but we wanted to talk about what 10-9 Ministries was about, what the Michigan Shoreline Tour was about. So continue to pray for us.
Please.
Come join us. We would love to have you out here. And with this beautiful view in the background, don't take our word for it, being his. We'll see you next time on the Encore.